Hi, I'm a baby rhino. Little horn, thick skin, and I do not panic when the market moves. Okay, here's what nobody tells you about options. You don't have to guess where the market's going. You really don't. Guessing is exhausting and expensive. So, we don't guess. We build a trade that already makes money sitting still. And when the market wanders off, we don't run. We nudge a wing, slide the calendar, stay in the game. Over the next 90 minutes, I'll show you the exact setup, when to adjust it, and how a trade that looks scary becomes kind of relaxing. No jargon wall, no 40-tab spreadsheet, just one calm little rhino and a plan you can actually run. Grab a coffee, get comfy. Let's learn to adjust.
Little bit of a dramatic pause on the disclaimer there. Welcome everybody. This is the Baby Rhino introduction. With me is Sebastian, who's been has joined us about 6 weeks ago. Sebastian, you've been on a wild ride, man. How's it been?
Good, pretty good, Mike. Amazing to be here. It's a honest pleasure to be here, uh, being part of this community. Such a wonderful community, honestly. Being here every day, helping you guys out, it's been amazing. Thank you, Mike.
You've been amazing, man. Thank you for being here. Thank you for saying yes. If I didn't even know you knew AI the way you do. Hey, so welcome to the community. This is Michael Wade Trade Coaching. I can see many people that I know very well, and one of them who's got his camera hidden is Joe Contis. Joe, come on camera with me, man. I want to talk to you. Oh, you're muted, man. Let me hit your shock button so you can unmute
Yeah,
yourself.
I say, yeah, I got it. I came in from the back end, so I came in like everybody else. Everything's muted and turned off, so I had to set everything back. I'm here. It's all good, Mike. I got you, man.
All right, buddy. I always feel better when you're in the room with me. There's very few people that I would sit beside and know that you know what I know what you know, and I trust you, and you're one of our coaches. And I'm just so grateful every day that I know you're with us, man. So thanks for being here tonight.
Thanks for having me here, Mike. I appreciate it. It's all good.
Yeah, yeah. Have you had much experience with the baby rhino yet?
Who, me?
You.
Yeah, of course.
What do you think? How's it working?
It's awesome
It's
until
freaking
the
awesome.
market has a gap. Then it's not so awesome. But you
Yeah,
know
I mean,
what? If the market just does what it does, it's, well, I can't say that. It's very cool.
I know what I know. I've sat at a bar with you. I know what you were going to say.
Yes. Well, we won't go
Um,
there. But
yeah,
yes, no, it's very cool. I know you're going to get into it. I don't want to spoil your party and you ran on your parade, but just the concept of the wide area that the stock can move and you still are
mhm.
okay. That's
Yeah.
really cool. That's the part that is very, very enticing.
It's very enticing. Let me start. And by the way, before I go any further, those of you that don't know us, we are a community of traders. Michael Wade Trade Coaching was formed 4 years ago, and part of what you're about to see tonight will have community wrapped all around it. You're not going to be by yourself unless you choose to be. You're going to have WhatsApp access to everybody in the course. You're going to have very experienced traders like the Knights. Sandy, I see Sandy with us tonight. Sandy's one of our Knights. Sandy, just quickly before I get into the material for tonight, what would you say to those that have never seen a baby rhino? What would you tell them about it?
You're in for a ride. No, I really enjoyed the baby rhino. It really opens a whole new world of learning advanced strategies on a level that is easier to understand. Um, but you will enjoy this, I think, for sure.
Awesome. Thank you, Sandy.
Mhm.
And we're going to have more opportunity for those of us that have been trading these. I also want to give attribution to Johnny White, who's part of our advanced group called the Knights. And Johnny brought this strategy to us, and we made it mo better. We dug in and we applied the Greeks. We applied analyzing various aspects that impact the P&L of the baby rhino. And those of us in the Knights have been successfully trading this for many, many months, at least a couple of years, or so, a year and a half to 2 years, we've been trading this thing. And before I go much further, let's back up a second. Let me set a context for you. What if I was to tell you, what if you were able to find a strategy that generated 3% every 4 days? You're like, that's not a lot of money. But every 4 days, you could do 4 of those in a month. And this strategy has built-in risk mitigation. It makes money as the sun goes around the earth. That's a
Wait a
joke.
minute, Mike. I think it's the other way around, but that's okay.
Joe, I was hoping you'd come in there. But it doesn't
Well,
sound
some
like
people think the world is still flat, so
Yeah.
it's all good, you know.
Have you ever talked to those people that what do they call, the flat Earth theory people?
Yeah.
You ever talk to anybody like that?
I haven't personally, but if I did, I'd probably smack them.
Yeah, I know. It's like, I don't understand. How do you figure that out? But listen, 3% a month. Excuse me, 3% every 4 days. Let's just jack this up to 7 days. You make 3% every 7 days. And while you're waiting for 7 days, you have a lot of safety. You're not sitting there going, oh my God, is the SPX? We're going to use the SPX in this particular example. Is the SPX going to go too far up or too far down? I'm so worried about direction. If you buy a call option, Joe, and the stock goes down, you're going to lose money.
You are absolutely, because the bottom line is you buy a call, you're bullish, and the stock goes bearish, you're hosed.
Joe, I've been, you and I have been trading for decades, like 3 each.
Yeah.
And picking direction, you can do well with it, but you're going to take some big hits. And your psychology is going to be leaning towards, well, I need the stock to go in the direction I want it to go. So imagine that you don't have to worry about that anymore.
Right.
You're going to have a wide range. And this particular stock can go up and down quite a bit within usually 150, maybe even more, depending on market conditions. You have a 150-point range, give or take. And I've seen them 200 plus, but the SPX could go up 150 points up and down, and you're still okay. You can relax and you can generate your 3% while you're sitting in your hammock. Now, I got to be careful. I don't want to say
How do you sit in a hammock, Mike? I think you lay in a hammock. I'm just checking. I'm just checking you here.
Hey, Sebastian, can you mute Joe for me, please?
I'll mute myself. There you go. I'll just go.
No. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. Anyway, it's a nice little performance with very low stress. We're not even talking adjustments yet. But if you did that 4 times in a month, you made 3% 4 times in a month. The average risk in these trades is generally between $1,200 and $1,500. But if you generate 3% on whatever that money is, then that's 12% a month. So if you were able to do that consistently over a year, your $1,200 that you started with would generate $1,728 of profit. And that's 144% return on investment. That's what we're talking about tonight. Now, if I was to offer you this to you as a very, very strong possibility that you could replicate this in your accounts right now, would you be willing to tackle more sophistication, more complexity in order to generate this kind of monumental returns? Now, I'm not making this up. This is exactly what we've done in our Trade Club program. We've placed 20 trades beginning in March. And what we've generated is 17 wins, 3 losses, That's an 85% win rate. And so far, in the five and a half months or so we've been doing this, we've generated 58% return on our money without adjustments. And I'm pausing for a reason. This is what Joe and I and Sebastian and Jeff, this is what we want to bring to people. And then we want to make it better. Imagine that, and this is going to blow your minds a bit potentially, but imagine that with adjustments, whatever this thing is, the baby rhino, we know it is, but imagine you have the ability to do some adjustments and you're able to generate 20% a month. 20% a month times 4 is 80% a month. And if you do the, if without even compounding, then the numbers get sick. They just get like mind-blowing numbers. Now, I thought long and hard for about 6 months that there's complexity here. And I was counseled by many people, and quite a few of them said, Mike, it's too much. It's too much for the novice trader. It might even be too much for the intermediate trader. But Joe, one of the reasons I was pining to have you join us is that you and I believe, I feel, have the ability to take complexity and make it digestible to the novice.
You know what, Mike? That's interesting that you bring that up, because that's exactly has been my mission from day one. The first time in Orlando, Florida, that I stood up in front of people at Tom's invitation to educate people, I looked at that as an opportunity to not only be nervous, which I was, but to basically stand up in front of a group and literally help them learn just the way I would want to learn, and break it down to simple analogies, simple explanations, and make it understandable. This is a complex industry. At least that's what the good old boys would have you say. But you know what? When it really comes down to it, it's calls, put in stock, and we just buy it and sell it. So this is it's a fantastic opportunity for us to take something that seems to be very complex, but break it down into something that is very understandable. And you and I share that mission.
We share that mission. And in fact, when we started MW Trade Coach, what drives me, I could go off into the sunset and trade this and never have to talk to anybody again. But my personal mission is to bring sophisticated options trading and community and support and expertise and sharing and contribution in an environment where everybody wins. And part and parcel to all of this is that this 20% is not a number I'm making up. This is a number that's very attainable. I've seen our knights do this. I've seen our knights do better than this. The advanced traders that we have. This is where this is born. 30% is very, very possible with adjustments. All right, so this is the baby rhino, and you saw the video in the beginning. And what I'd like to do is start with an example. And let's talk about what it is first. Like, what is this thing called the baby rhino? Let me show you one. And I placed this this trade here. I put this on August the 6th. So this trade is 6 days old. Let me show you this trade here. So this trade, had you placed it on August the 6th, you'd be in the trade for 7 days. Without touching the trade, you'd be up 13%. I showed you what 3% does. What does 13% does? Well, let me go back to my spreadsheet. What if you were able to do without adjustments up the ante to 10%? Then you're looking at a 480% return in a year. If you can generate that number 4 times a month, these are the numbers. Your 1,200 generates $5,700 of profit. This is what we're talking about. And this trade untouched, has generated so far 13%. So let's take this trade back to the beginning and let's talk about how to build these things. So here's how you build them. If you look here, I can go to legs as well. Here's the legs of the trade. Notice, Joe, there's 5 legs here. 5. Oops.
So that's a little bit more complex than buying a call or buying a put.
Little bit.
A little bit more complex.
A little bit more.
But is it more difficult once you know how to buy a call or buy a put? You can do it in your broker account, right? You can put things together and yeah. So
exactly. You know, I've watched all these advanced traders with their 5-legged trades. This has got 5 legs. We got a calendar up top, and we got a broken wing butterfly on the bottom. All right. If you never traded options before, you're like, what is he talking about? But I watch these advanced traders with these sophisticated strategies, and I'm like, man, they're making money like consistently. I want to bring this to the novice, to the intermediate traders, advanced traders, of course, too. And what's beautiful about it is this picture. So this is what we call a risk graph. We do have people, Joe, that are outside of the community that have been sort of like in the wings and coming in for things for us when we do our little events. But what's beautiful about it is the slope of this T0 line. Before I even talk about that, let me just break down what a risk graph is. Okay, so the risk graph can be thought of as a payoff diagram. So on this vertical axis here, we have stock price. And then on the bottom axis, to the right of this 0 line, we have profit. And then to the left of it, we have loss. So this particular trade, there's 2 contracts here. You could do this 2 contracts would cost you $2,900. One contract, this is a baby rhino. One baby rhino would cost you about $1,400. Okay, so that's what this is. And when you start to really understand in more detail the Greeks and the power of theta and the power of neutralizing directional risk. Look here, this trade at the expiration line has a range of 7,807 down to 7,624. I'm trying to do the math in my head. Can somebody help me? Because I can't do it. 7,807 minus 7,625, 175 points or something like that. So that's a big range, and the stock goes up and down a little bit. And the SPX, this is the SPX trade. We just use the SPX. The stock can move around a lot. It can go up a lot, and even if it goes up above this break even today, you don't lose much money. There's an 8% loss there, and there's an 8% loss there. So this is where the directional risk gets mitigated. This stock can move around a lot, and you're still going to make money. And this is this is what leads me to this thing we call theta. So theta measures the impact on your position's P&L with 1 day of time passing. All right, so right there, that number shows 94. What does that mean? It means that I'll make $94 tomorrow on theta.
Mike, wait, let me pause you for just a second, because you mentioned earlier that we want to break this down and make it simple for people to understand. You mentioned the thing called the Greeks, and you're touching on it now, and this is important. Everyone knows that's even on this call, they understand that options expire, right? So if they expire, they can either have value or not have value. But in the meantime, while they're living, they have a thing called time value. And time value can either help you or hurt you, depending on if you bought the option or if you sold the option. What you're just saying is that in this strategy, how you're going to put it all together, that theta, time decay, is Well, first of all, Mike, let me ask you this. Is tomorrow going to happen?
It has so far.
What about the next day? Will that happen?
Yeah.
So, in other words, time is a constant. It's going to go away, right? And what you're saying is that if time goes by on the first day, based on the numbers you're looking at, this trade will make $94 just for the sun going down and coming up, which is
Yep.
actually the Earth going around the sun and not the other way around.
Yeah. And that's
So,
this is the thing that we want to harness. The Greeks measure the position is sensitive to the stock moving around. It's sensitive to something called implied volatility. You'll understand this in the course. And it's also sensitive to the passage of time. And what's really cool, and this is what this is the mic drop, is that your directional risk is very, very contained. It's mitigated, let's call it. And my theta is big. My theta, when I started on this trade, was offering 3.18% on the risk in the trade. That's 3%. Every day, the trade drips at theta will drip in 3%. And you can see it by advancing the trade forward. And so as time passes, these lines this T0 line gets sucked into profit. And that's this game. No longer are you worried about direction. You're worried about gaps, which I want to talk to you about in a little bit. I'm worried about gaps, but man, this thing can move around a lot, and we're still going to get the power of theta. The directional risk is mitigated, and theta is dripping 3% into your account every day. And as you wait, that 3% gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So that is the world of the baby rhino. Is it complicated? I wouldn't say complicated. I would say deliciously sophisticated. And what you need is community and good teachers that can break this stuff down in very bite-sized, digestible pieces. When we start with a picture of a baby rhino, we're not interested in blowing your socks off with all of the technical language that we could use. Joe and I and the Knights, we want to bring this to you in a very, very as simple as possible, give you rules and teach you how to adjust these trades. So that's what this is, y'all. And I want to show you, actually, I've already shown you the results. So the results I just showed you earlier, let me go back to this report. So I want to, let me back up. I want to show you how to construct them. All right, so the way you construct them is let's go to the legs here. I'm going to give you how to construct them. So the first thing you do is you buy the broken wing butterfly. And the way you do that is you buy, I've got two here, but one SPX at the money put. So when we bought this thing, the market was the SPX was at 77.09. So we bought a 14-day, write these down. You'll get the recording later, so don't get too panicky if you don't get everything I'm saying. You're going to get the recording. So you buy a 14-day at the money put on the SPX. And then you sell twice as many SPX puts 45 points beneath the upper long. So 77.10 minus 45 is 76.65. And then you buy one put 50 points beneath that. That's one half. That's three legs. All right, so that gives you this part down here. All right, and then on the upper side, you buy a calendar spread by selling one SPX 77.25 put. That's a 14-day option. And that option is 15 points higher than the upper long put on the butterfly. And then you protect that short put by buying a 77.25 put same strike 4 days later. This is a Friday expiration. This is a Monday expiration. All right, so you can build these right now. In fact, you could build these right now with those rules, and you could very conceivably, just by following very simple exit rules. Let me pull this one up again. That's when we closed. Let me, I lost it. Okay, let's see here. Oh, I know what I want to do. I just lost the plot. Okay. And with very simple exit rules, which would be, the way we've generated these results I just mentioned is the way you can manage these trades is you exit the trade for a loss if the stock breaches the upper break even at expiration. And if it drops below the lower break even, you take that one off for a loss as well. A small loss, incidentally, usually about 10% loss here, 10% loss down here. And then that controls your loss. And then you just let theta do what theta do. Just let time pass. And the instant you have 5%, 10% profit, then you might very well be able to generate the portfolio that I showed you when I started, which is about 3% on average with losers considered over a 4-day time period per trade. Had you been following, this is what we've done in our trade club program. And we've been putting these trades on every Friday, and we say, all right, take them off for 5%, maybe wait another day, get a bit extra, exit them at the break evens. We've only had 3 trades that we've lost at the break evens. The first 2 losses were about just under 10%. And then, Joe, I got to be really responsible. Things can happen. We used to trade here on the 31st of July. And then guess what happened the next day? This was our upper break even, and this was our lower. And then the next day, the market jacked up. It just went up big. And then we crossed the upper break even. So that's not ideal. These are not bulletproof. If the market does that, if it just starts running up, you're going to probably lose a bit of money. And we did. This was an unusual bullish run above our upper break even. And on that particular trade, we took a 14% loss.
But Mike, you talked about it and you said, look, okay, nothing's bulletproof. So the trade construction is already kind of designed to not get, you don't get hurt, but you have rules in place and you have a method that says, look, if it violates this level, I'm going to either pull the plug, or maybe I'm getting ahead of the game here. Maybe there's some adjustments you could do so that you don't lose as much. So the whole idea is that amount of risk that you put in these trades, unless the market goes to zero or a big, huge gap, you're not going to lose that kind of money. You're going to lose a small, like you said, 8, 9, 10, 12% maybe on one, but you're going to make so much more on the others. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, with an 85% win rate without adjusting and exiting at the break evens, I'll go out on a limb and say you're quite likely, it's not guaranteed, but you're quite likely to generate what we did over the last 5 months, starting in March.
Nothing's guaranteed, but the probabilities are very high.
And history suggests, I've been trading this, and the Knights have been trading this for almost 2 years, and I tell you, I was so excited when I saw. For me, Joe, you too. I know you and I have traded everything. There is risk reversals, calls, puts, straddles, strangles, condors, butterflies, broken wing butterflies, double count. We've done all of it. And I've never been so excited about a strategy for me personally in my life. And it has a level of complexity that you need help mastering. But when you master it, I think this changes lives, Joe. I think this is game-changing stuff. I think it's game-changing stuff. The nut to crack is absorbing the complexity.
And you know
And
what? You mentioned the complexity, and you touched on it earlier, and I want to just come back to it. Um, this is an environment that, well, quite honestly, has not existed prior to 4 years ago. And your vision of bringing a community together and having fellow traders work alongside, quote, instructors and be able to support the group as a whole has been immense.
Mhm.
Absolutely incredible.
Yeah. I tell you, Joe, it's beyond what I thought was possible. And what I wasn't expecting was to learn from this community. There's the concept of mastermind, the sum of all the minds in a group exponentially exceed the
Mhm.
power of one individual mind, including mine and yours, Joe. We know a
Oh,
lot.
maybe yours more than mine, but that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, well said, man. I have to agree with that. Um, so let's pause for a sec to see if we have any questions about the basics. Because what I'd like to do now is take this particular trade that is so far unadjusted. So far, 7 days in, we didn't get out at a 5% profit. We're currently at a 13% profit. All right. So I want to I want to stay in. Here's why I want to stay in. I'm looking at my theta number. We have a saying, and we even have a cup that says, let theta do what theta do. Tomorrow, if the sun rises, theta is going to add another $157 into my trade, and I can even envision it here. So I'll go forward one day. So right now we have $400 of profit. If I wait till tomorrow and the stock is right where it is, it doesn't move, and IV stays the same, then there's 27% profit, $786 of profit, not 400, but $786 of profit right there. So I want to stay in these as long as possible, Joe, because the longer we wait, watch what happens. I want to illustrate the power of theta, the power of positive theta. The longer you wait, what happens to this T0 line, which is the current P&L of the trade, and the darker lines are what is possible at expiration. It is actually possible on this trade to make 298%. That's $8,800 is feasibly possible if the stock ends up right here at this strike at expiration in 7 days.
And
That's
Mike, the odds of that happening are not likely, but it is possible.
right.
And because it's possible, that T0 line you're talking about starts to move to guess what? To the right.
Mhm.
And it starts pushing more profit into your trade just because the sun goes around the earth.
And watch what happens, Joe, if I take this to Friday. Watch what happens to the line. It's going to take, see, it starts and it gets faster as you approach expiration. But and then if I take it to Monday, then what happens is these lines just start to get sick. I
Yeah.
mean, they're right there. If the stock's there on Monday, there's $2,100 of profit, almost a double on their $2,900 of initial risk. Now, there's a double-edged sword here, though. Now, what we're missing as we move from day to day, here's today. What we're missing is that as we wait and as these lines start moving in our favor, and let's take it to Monday again. Right now, if the stock rises, I'm going to give up my profit.
Right.
And the longer we wait, the more that you have the more of your profit is at risk. And so what I normally, the way people trade these is they get their 5% and they get out. But I'm like, man, that theta is like $150, man. Do I want to wait one more? I want to wait one more day. But I've got to be careful. And this is the game. I got to be careful to protect the profits that I have. So in this case here, And this is, let's see, what's my date here? Let me move these things out of the way. So this is today. This is tomorrow. So tomorrow, I would have, if the stock stays right where it is, I would have, look at the bottom of the screen down here, I would have $427 of profit tomorrow. But tomorrow, if the stock was up here at 77, let's call it 7,800, then I'm breaking even. So am I willing to throw away $400 of profit with the potential that the stock goes up to 7,800 and I lose my 400 bucks? So what happens is when you've placed the trade, your directional risk is very, very mitigated. And the longer you wait, this T0 line starts working against you. Go to Monday, look how sharp they get. On Monday, if the stock's where it is, you have $1,500 of profit. Look at the bottom of the screen down here when I put my cursor right there. That's the T0 line on Monday, and I've got $1,500 of profit. But on Monday, if the stock's trading up here at 7,800, then I'm breaking even. So what I want to do is I want to keep the power of theta working for me, but I also want to keep the directional risk mitigated. And that's where adjustments come in. Andrew's got his hand up here, Joe. Let's get Andrew to chime in a bit. Briefly.
Briefly. At the beginning of the trade, one of the things I calculated was that the stock has to move up 1% or down 1% before you hit break even. And often the SPX doesn't move that when you look at from open of the day to close of the day. It often moves less than 1%. So you've got that range built into it. Now, of course, the next day, as you said, break evens pull in a little bit and you got a different story. But I was just pointing out at the beginning.
Yeah, thank you, buddy. This is so thank you for that, Andrew. So this thing, as Andrew's saying, the stock can move up quite a bit or down quite a bit. 1% moves, and you're generally at your break evens. This is so notice the slope of the T0 line today on the day that the trade is placed. You don't have any directional risk to speak of. And then if you go to today, though, because we've waited 7 days, then that T0 line, the directional risk mitigation has degraded. And so and this is what's different about this course than many of the other pundits out there teaching, is that we want to give you some adjustments, simple adjustments, broken down into bite-sized pieces that can say, I think maybe my upside, I'm worried about the stock rising. And there's 5 adjustments that we're going to teach in the course. I'm going to show you 2. And one of the simplest adjustments you can do, let's say that I'm worried, move that out of the way. I think 7,800 might be breached. Let's say my prognosis was that I think the stock may be above 7,800 tomorrow. Yeah, today's the 12th. And if that happens tomorrow, I've got my date set till tomorrow, then I'm going to break even. I don't want to break even. I don't want to lose my $400 of profit. I want to soften the slope of this line so that I can lift up the break even a bit and still make money if the stock's at 7,800. And one simple adjustment is to take put this back on front stage here, is to take this short put of the calendar and simply slide it up. We call that adjustment the slippity slide. I could literally simply lift this 77. Let me take you over here. It's easier to see. So what I want to show you is you have great facility with adjustments. There. No, it's not showing here. Let's see. I'm waiting for the software to come back here. Am I still online here, guys? Yeah, I am. Okay, good.
You're there.
So notice here the strikes are the same. So our short option is the one that's generating positive theta for us. And if I want to increase this, lift the break even up here, then I can take this 77.25 put and lift it up 5 points. Watch what happens when I do this. And I want to keep the beauty of this particular piece of software that a lot of us use. It's called Option Trader's Assistant. It gives us the ability to pre-program, like a chess master playing chess, plan your adjustments before you need them and have them ready to go when you need them. So let's say that at 3 o'clock today, I'm like, oh my God, I think we're going to go up from here. And I want to lift that upper break even. I'm looking at the T0 line here. This is the today risk profit and loss line. And then this dark one again is expiration. All right. So simply by flipping a switch, placing a spread order, I can lift up the upper break even. So what you can see here are two risk graphs. The dotted lines are with the adjustment. The solid lines, including the T0 line as well as the expiration line, are solid. So post adjustment, notice that my upper break even has been lifted. If I want to lift it higher, then slide it up more than one. So this is a fine tuning. It allows you to stay in the game longer, mitigate your directional risk, and allow theta to do what theta do. And that's the difference. That's the course. You don't even need the course if you don't want to do adjustments. I've shown you how to build the trade. I've told you how to simply manage the trades at the break evens, exit for a loss, take 5 or 10%, and you're probably going to do all right. But you can do much, much better. The 20% I showed you before is what's possible. And it's not just 20. I've seen 30. And the numbers just get crazy. So that's what we're showing. So one of the things you'll notice is, so the game becomes keep the T0 line as flat as possible, neutralize directional risk such that if the stock moves in a particular direction, you can, soften the blow. Now, one of the things you'll notice is that as I lift the short put up, this upper break even rises from 7,800 up to about 7,815. If I wanted higher, I would lift the short put higher. But there's a trade-off. When you get a better break even here, you get a lesser break even down here. This break even goes against you. This one goes for you. But I can tell you, if the stock's up here and I'm predicting upside movement, I'm not worried about this break even down here. So that's the slippity slide. Now, let's say, for example, that you felt like the stock was down here, let's say, and you were worried about the stock dropping and then crossing this lower break even and then starting to lose money. Well, you could slide the short put down. This is a slippity slide down one strike, and notice what this does. The upper break even, this is the current T0 line, drops a little bit, but look what happens to the lower. So instead of breaking even at 7,600, which is unadjusted, this line unadjusted, then you drop your lower break even to 75, 78. You want more? Squeeze it more than, slide the short put down even one more strike. And then you can really have a lot of facility to alter the slope of the T0 line to mitigate, in other words, directional risk. This is one of 5 adjustments. And Sandy and I did an adjustment today called the hat trick, which, Sandy, I'm thinking about adding to the course because it's a pretty awesome one as well.
That one is very awesome. Yes.
I might even show you the trade I did today.
Yeah.
All right, let's pause for questions. Sebastian, Sandy, we got any questions so far?
Before you go to questions, Mike, are you going to pay Sandy a royalty for coming up with these? I'm just curious.
I didn't come up with the hat trick.
Oh, okay. I just was wondering.
We applied it. I did not come up with it.
Hey, Joe,
to be honest with you, I've been off in another world. I don't even know what that adjustment is. So I'm curious myself what you guys have come up with.
Well, that is when your VIX is at a floor and you're turning the lower butterfly, you're converting it into a calendar.
Okay, let's not even go there. That you're sounding really cool. This is some really fun stuff. This is the power of community, you guys.
Hey, I
It's
didn't bring
not
it up.
one
The
or
boss
two
brought it
guys.
up.
It's not one or two quote gurus talking about options and calls and puts. This is a community of people that are incredibly intelligent, and we're all learning from each other, including the instructors.
Yes. And the format of the class is the same. As a class member, you'll be in a class community. You'll have a WhatsApp feed where you can support each other, share trades, ask questions about your adjustments. Um, you'll have a forum board. You're not by yourself. We don't do that here. It's all for one, one for all. You'll be in a community of traders that are up to the same thing you are. Okay, so that's one, the slippity slide. What is it? You slide the short option of your calendar up and down, and that has the impact of softening and reducing the slope of the T0 line. All right, so that's the game. Another one that you can employ is, let's say the stock, you have a prognosis that you think maybe the stock's going to drop below this lower break even of 76.29. And you think that's going to happen. And you'll break even there. You might even start losing money if the stock starts dropping. So what we want to do now is alter the slope of this line so that you have more downside. Your lower break even, in other words, at the T0 line is lower. And I want to squeeze risk out of the trade. I want to drop my $2,900. This is two contracts, by the way. You can just do one. You don't have to do two of them, two rhinos. And what I can do is take the lower put here, 76.15, and slide it up 5 points, squeezing the distance between the bottom two legs. So this is the squeeze play, taking the 76.15 put and sliding it up 5 points. Watch what happens when I do that. Keep an eye on the T0 line. This is the T0 line for today. I'm worried about downside. I want this break even lower. By implementing the squeeze play, lots of things happen in our favor. One, the max risk drops from 3,000 down to 2,000. So you squeeze 30% of the risk out. And now what happens as well is the new adjusted break even is lower by quite a bit. Now it's 75.85. That's the squeeze play. And there's more. There's three others, and sounds like it's going to be four others. And what we want to do is take the world of the baby rhino without even adjusting, does well by itself, and then teaching you some basic adjustments, when to apply them. We have tools to help you decide when to adjust that you'll see in a few minutes, and then take your 3% up to 10 and maybe higher. And if you did that, if you're able to just get 10%, then your $1,200 generates 5,000. That's math. If you're able to generate an average return of 10%. So Joe, this
So
is
Mike,
the world, man. Go ahead, Sandy.
I just wanted to throw in one more comment that if you do this course, the world of the Greeks are really going to open up for you, and you will see how the Greeks apply to not only this trade, but other trades. People may think they know the Greeks, but until they're actually actively applying them and using them to make adjustment decisions, you don't know what you don't know yet.
Yeah, totally, Sandy. And part of the course is going to be a really, I would say, I hate to say dumbed down, but a simplified view of the Greeks so that you can understand what these numbers mean. The basic aspect of the trade is to get theta, time passing working for you and neutralizing your delta or directional risk. So you need to understand delta, and you need to understand theta and even vega. And one of the things I've noticed about the people that teach these courses that the few that I've seen, I haven't seen a lot of them, but I don't hear them talking Vega very much. The
Mhm.
impact of implied volatility on your trade. You're going to learn that, and it's going to be simple. The way Joe and I teach the Greeks, we make it simple. It's like a dashboard. You want to adjust your dashboard using the Greeks to neutralize the impact of stock movement and still grab your massive theta, and the theta gets bigger and bigger and bigger as you approach expiration. And that's
Yeah,
this.
Mike, I want to just inject just quickly here. The concept of the Greeks, and you know this story, I've told it a number of times, but um, as a student of the options back in 2001, whenever it was when I got involved in options, that was the last thing I wanted to learn about because it looked way too complicated. But the way you and I approach those primarily four Greeks, three primarily, but there's four: delta, gamma, vega, theta. What we do is we break them down into a simple understanding. It comes down to a simple letter: D delta, G gamma, T theta, V vega, implied volatility. So we break it down so that you can understand what they are without going into all that sophisticated math that wasn't there before the early 70s when we didn't have options.
Yeah.
Options didn't occur until they figured out all this math. But you know what? We break it down to the point where you don't need to understand the math. You just need to understand the implication of what those Greeks are telling you. And they tell you a ton of story.
Yeah, man. And don't be afraid of them.
No.
There's nothing to be afraid of. You'll get to a point where you want the Greeks. The Greeks are like reading your dashboard on your car, you
Yep.
know? And once you don't even worry about how they're calculated. Understand what they mean. Like this, here's a trade I'm in now. And this trade is telling me that tomorrow, I tell you, Joe, you know the funniest thing about this strategy is I know tomorrow I've got a good shot of making $545. As long as the stock stays the same, as long as the SPX behaves itself. And I know that's happening. So every morning, guess I wake up, I pet my dogs, and then I pull my phone out and I check the futures. If the futures are flat, I know, oh my God, I probably made $545 tomorrow. And that's exactly the situation I'm in now. Now, this is a trade that I placed. I'll take you through just quickly the life of the trade. And this has the hat trick in it. So this is the trade on inception. Now it's a $4,500 trade. Let me take the adjustments off here 1 second. Okay, let's take that off. So I'm in the trade. This trade is a $4,600 trade. You don't need that much. And it's the same, exactly the same baby Rhino construction I shared with you earlier. And then just 5 days into the trade, the trade has 23% profit in it. And then I'm looking at the Greeks and I'm looking at Vega and I'm analyzing. And then today, what I did is I converted the trade into 2 calendars in order to increase my theta and to increase my Vega because I have a not down IV prognosis. And these are as you climb this mountain, this is top of the mountain option trading, and you're going to be around the best traders in the world that I know, including Tom and including George. And we're going to take you up this mountaintop, and we're going to show you how to create trades just like this. If the stock behaves itself by Friday, then this is what I'd be looking at on Friday. Right here, my upper break even is way up here, close, what's that, 78.64. My lower break even at the T0 line is down here at 76.80. The stock's right where it is. There's a 62% return available right in here. And then if I wait till Monday, it just gets better and better and better. There's a potential profit here of 171% right there. Now, I would adjust this by this point with the slope of the tier 0 line. So this is not, I wouldn't end up here. I would continue to adjust the slope of this line so that it is as flat as possible. And then I can keep grabbing that theta. On Monday, this stayed as $1,100, $1,200. Wait a day, $1,200. More money into the trade. So what I love, love, love about this is if you don't even adjust, you have a very good chance of generating 3% a week, every 4 days, in fact. And if you did 3% a week, 12% a month, and weekly trades, that's game-changing stuff.
Hey,
So
Mike, can I show something? Do you
yeah,
mind? I know this is your gig, but I'd love to show something. I just talked about this in some other stuff I did today. Um, okay, why is it doing that? All right, you guys see on my screen?
yeah,
Yes.
SPX? Is that the instrument you're talking about?
is the very one. Yes.
That's the S&P 500 cash deal. This was the pattern we were in before. You can see that. It was channeling. Kind of a decent range, whatever. But you talked about this earlier. We seriously broke out. I mean, kaboom. And at that point, I think you and I were both even considering, are we in for another one of these parabolic moves? Maybe. But there's a lot of influences going on in the world that says, well, maybe not. Potential interest rate increase later, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so what have we been doing for the last few days? Falling right back into a nice little channel.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think this is a market condition that would bode well for this type of a strategy, provided you are prepared for one of these if it happens, which doesn't happen that often?
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to, pass that on that, you know what, if you really want to look for a directionally not immune, but directionally somewhat inert strategy that you could generate, I don't know, 10, 15, 20, 30% on a trade a week, what's going to do for your overall portfolio? Think about
Yeah,
that.
I mean, it's like if this is a mic, it's
Yeah, Mike the drop. Yeah, there you go.
yeah,
Not Michael drop. That's a Mike drop.
mic drop. Yeah.
Not a Michael drop. Because if we drop you, then you might hurt yourself.
Especially at my age, Joe.
Yeah.
Let's go to Jim Baker, who's one of our leaders of our community. He's a great trader, and he's always participating. Jim, what do you got, buddy?
So, about 45 minutes ago, you made a statement. I know it's hard to believe that was confusing. The baby rhino has 5 legs. 4 of the 5 legs have the same expiration date, 14 days after the day you place the trade.
Mm-hmm.
The 5th leg, the long leg of the calendar, is 4 days later.
Yes.
Okay, if you place your trade on Friday, your favorite day, then all the other legs, except for that exception, expire on a Friday.
Yeah.
The 4th leg, you say, is 4 days later, which is Monday. You still comfortable with that statement?
I don't know what statement you're referring to, but I would reiterate that you have a calendar with a 14-day short and a 17-day long, and then you have a butterfly that's also 14 days.
Oh, so it's 3 days later, the expiration of the long calendar leg, not 4 days.
Yeah, the short calendar is typically we like to place these on Fridays because on Fridays the market, we know Saturday and Sunday is coming. So the theta is you still get your theta over Saturday and Sunday. And the market can't move on Saturday and Sunday. And so the simpler way to say it is you have a calendar with 3 days between, let's go to the legs here, with 3 days between the short and the long. 3 days.
3 days,
20,
not 4 days. Okay.
And then the butterfly is also, so the way you stated it sounds complex. But if you say it's a calendar with 4 days between the short and the long and a butterfly,
Wait a minute, now you're 4 days between the short and long.
Jim, what are you talking about, man? You have a 14-day butterfly. You have
Yeah,
the calendar and the butterfly expire on the same day.
right.
The calendar short expires on the same day as the butterfly expires.
It's 14 days and 17 days, isn't it? The two expirations.
The trade expires on the 21st of August.
Yeah, and the long leg expires on the 24th of August, 3 days later.
Yeah, and
So
what's
it's
the problem?
well,
What's the problem with that?
you keep saying 4 days later, and it's only 3 days.
Okay, 3 days. Sorry. There you got it. Now I understand your question. Yeah, I
Okay.
said.
It-
All right. Thanks, Jim. Feel better?
yeah, lots better.
All right, good. It doesn't, and actually, it doesn't matter so much that if you did a 4 day or a 3 day or a 5 day long past the short, doesn't matter that much.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to do is give you rules that you can employ right now. And you can take a screenshot of this, you'll get the recording. If you can build this trade every Friday, then you have a really good shot of generating 3% every week.
Mike, Jim Baker was just trying to trip you up.
I
That's his
know.
job. That's what he does. He likes to do that, but it's all good. So yeah, 3, 4 days. You know what? That's not a cardinal rule. It's you work with it. So thank you, Jim. You're trying to trip up Mike. I love it.
I don't love it.
Anything you can do to trip Mike up, I love it because you know that's my goal to do that all the time is to
I
trip
did
you
it for
up.
Joe.
He's never done that to me, Joe, before. That's the first time. I'm shocked. I thought Jim
Oh,
loved
you
me.
didn't know that already?
I'm proud of
That's
it.
not true. No,
Oh,
I love
stop
you,
it,
Mike.
Johnny.
I love you, Mike.
Hey, Sebastian, can you mute Johnny, please?
Yes.
Hey, let's take a little sharing. I'm going to take you into what's available. By the way, if anybody has a baby rhino on right now that you'd like to have adjusted, and you have it in a risk graph form, then Joe and I and the Knights are very happy to take a look at one of your trades if you're trading these already. So that's on offer. But before I take you into what I want to offer all of you, in terms of taking you up the mountaintop of taking a 3% trade into a much higher percent return on investment. Is there anybody here that would like to share about how the baby rhino has impacted your portfolios?
Sandy, I know you're there. You're muted, Sandy. Come on now. You know the rules.
Yes, I can do that. However, I don't have it ready to go. If I had known,
Just generally, what would you say about him without even getting your hard numbers? What's it been like?
So yes, there are occasions like Mike shared where we have a big move against us in the market that we can adjust to hopefully gain. But even with those, the first, let me see, since March, when we first started really actively doing these in the nights of this year, my I'm trying to remember my numbers. I had 12 trades, I think, and only one of them had a loss, and that loss was around $110. Um, and
What
I
was your
was
average risk, Sandy,
averaging
did you
about
say?
30% ROI on the whole bunch.
Mhm.
So yes, and even with this big move that we are still battling against with the hat trick, I'm hoping tomorrow to come out of that big loss after doing some adjustments and hat tricking it. And long story short, there's a high possibility we'll even be able to adjust out of that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
but I'm
What would
not
you
going to
say to the
promise that.
what would you say to the novice that have never traded this before? Is this within their grasp, would you say, Sandy?
Yes, if you just do the basic rule of if it looks like it's going to close on either side of where the expiration line crosses the zero line on your risk graph, you're going to have what our data has showed us. You're going to have a winning trend. Um,
Mhm.
and in the lead up to this, Mike had posted that graph with the win rates. Can you go back? Do you have that graph available? It was on the baby rhino post.
Are you talking about the performance?
Yeah, the performance graph that you posted on the
Got right here. This is what I
well,
got
yeah,
so
there
far.
it is
Not
right there.
yet.
Okay. So you can see that it's an 85% win rate. And this is just a few of those went a little bit bigger than a 5% for whatever reason. But it's an 85% win rate with 3 losses, and you can see the average loss and the average gain there. And you've seen a 58.1% ROI, and this is just the basic one.
This is
Now,
over 5 months, just 5 months, by 58%.
so just think about what you can do when you learn how to apply the adjustments and how the Greeks. It's just yes. You're getting back to your question. Yes, the novice can learn to do this.
Mhm.
And even if you don't want to do the adjustments, the numbers bear out that you can still make a profit.
Yeah. Sandy, if I was to say that you could no longer trade baby rhinos, how would you feel?
I would not listen to you.
All right. Let's Sebastian, any questions? Let's get to Karen Davis real quick. I just see your hand go up there, Karen. Let's get our questions answered.
Just a question from a kindergarten student. Lots of times I didn't have enough margin in my account that I'm trading this in to do the baby rhino, and I just did the butterfly. Can anybody give me an idea of just doing the butterfly? How well that compares? I know the baby rhino probably surpasses it in performance, but
Well, Karen, it's funny you ask. I'm going to go into the lander here in a minute. Sebastian's going to post this so you can review this with me. But this trade here was just started off as just the broken wing without the calendar. And this was my best trade. This one generated 74% with adjustments now. So
okay.
without adjustments, you're not going to make 74%.
So
This
you
is
still need the adjustments, but you could just do the butterfly while you're still in kindergarten.
yes. In fact, in class one, since we're talking about it, I'll show you the curriculum real quick here. Sebastian, can you post this so people can review with me if they want?
Yes, already posted.
Okay, thank you, sir. So the curriculum is we're going to start with just the broken wing. And the way some trade this is they start with just the broken wing part and they don't even put the calendar on until maybe later. And when you do this part, Karen, they're about $500 worth of margin. When you add the calendar, you're generally between $1,200 and $1,500 worth of risk. Now, the way we trade these in the nights, though, we do bigger ones. We do bigger rhinos, full-blown rhinos that cost more money. And so what I set out to do was to make these as cheap as I can while still giving you neutral directional risk being mitigated and really nice positive data to the tune of 3 to 5%. So we'll start there. And then we're going to get into adding the calendar. We're going to do the Greeks. And then on week 4 of the class, we're going to get into more of the fine tuning, all of the 5 different adjustments. Here they are. the slippity slide, the squeeze play, which I've covered already. We'll talk about sliding the calendar up and down, maybe adding a second calendar called the double wide, and even taking wings off, taking the calendar off or taking the butterfly off. And maybe we're going to add the hat trick as well, depending on how the class goes. So what good question. And we're going to start there. And
That's
you can
great
make good
because
money doing this.
I'm still trying to make sure I understand how to apply the adjustments. And if
Mhm.
I'm applying them to a simpler structure, like a
Yeah.
broken wing butterfly, I feel like I am in more control of the trait.
Yeah, well, good comment. Yeah, when there's only one spread versus two, then they're easier to manage for sure. But what I want to leave you with again is that when you know how to adjust, you could turn what was originally just butterfly into this, where the risk is totally mitigated, and the amount of profit in this particular case was $5,000 on 71%, 74% profit.
Well,
And
that's great.
there was no calendar involved in this one, Karen. Good question. Thank you for that. And that's how we're going to start the class.
Yeah, say again that last sentence you said.
I don't
Just-
remember. What did I say?
You were pointing up here and I was looking down there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, this was just a standard. I mean, I do a lot of contracts, but
Uh-huh.
it's just standard. Started off as just the broken wing, no calendar.
Uh-huh.
I did it over Christmas Eve, and I had the Christmas Eve and half of Christmas Day, and then the weekend, and then New Year's Eve a week later, and I was able to pull 74% profit out
Okay.
of.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, and there was no calendar involved there, Karen.
Thank you. Yeah, I got to keep it simple because I get very confused very easily.
Just like Joe. Okay, who's
Hey,
next?
what? Don't bring me into this. Hey, Mike, there's been I've just seen them pop up on my screen, and Sandy, you're probably watching this really close. There's been a number of questions have come up. The
Yeah.
latest one I just saw in the chat was I gotta get to it now. I've lost it already. It said something about I'm in toss. It's a five-legged trade. How do you do it? Do you want to go into that level of discussion at this point, or are you going to hold that back for the class? Because the broken wing butterfly by itself, yeah, no problem. One entry, one exit, or one adjustment. But when you do both of them, the broken wing and the calendar, that becomes an issue because there's literally five legs there, and most brokers will only allow four legs in a complex trade. So,
Yeah,
you want to address that now, or you want to leave that for
I'm not going to go into the how to do it. What I will say is there's when you put on a baby rhino, there's two trades. There's a calendar and there's a broken wing,
right?
and you need to understand how to get those placed, and that's going to be covered. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to meet every Wednesday for an hour and a half, which means two at least hours. Joe and I don't do an hour and a half. We don't do that.
Wait, time out, Mike. You told me this was going to be an hour class. Now you're making it 90 minutes. Now you're making it 2 hours. So what is it? 4 hours? Do I gotta not have dinner? What's happening?
Are we
I
going to
don't
get
look
a
at the
new
clock, man.
pineapple man?
What's that? What was that comment?
Are we going to get a new pineapple man?
No. We don't go pineapples. Mike and I are just going to argue in front of you. That's the way we
Okay.
do it.
Because Gerardo, he yelled pineapple.
Oh yeah, he does the pineapple. No, it's all good. So okay, Mike, I'll shut up now. 90 minutes. All right, go.
I haven't trained Sebastian to do it. Now, the class itself is 90 minutes on paper, but likely longer. I'm not a clock watcher. If the content needs to be refined, I'll refine it. So every Wednesday, you get at least an hour and a half of education. And then on Friday at 2:30, we go to work on 4 live baby rhinos. You'll see the trades. We'll work on, Joe, getting the two trades, not 5 legs. Make it simpler. It's two trades,
Sure.
two trades placed in a way that is efficient. We'll teach you how to do that. And then over the course of every day, when it's time to adjust them, then I'll adjust them and tell you what I did. You'll have access to all of this via WhatsApp. You're going to learn the 5 adjustment plays, probably going to be 6. There's more than 6. There's 17. There's actually, Joe, we have the drop your shorts adjustment. We have the hat trick adjustment. We have the slippity slide adjustment that's not in the book. You're going to learn adjusting. And we're going to try to get ourselves to a point where we're making 5% every day as the sun comes up. You'll have lifetime recordings as well. This is not just a class you attend 4 times and then you're done. This is community. And the community will extend for 2 months. So you'll have the first month and the second month to work together on mastering the baby rhino.
Hey, Mike, if you look at my video, what am I putting in front of my face?
I don't know. I can't see. Oh, yeah, there's a play. Yeah, I'll get there, Joe.
All right. I just want to let you know that this
Yeah,
is,
I know.
pretty cool.
The Bible.
Freaking
The Bible.
cool. All right. I'll
Joe, show them how big that freaking book is, man.
It's like, let's see. If I had to calculate it in centimeters, I can't do it, but I can do it. That's a full inch thick.
Mm-hmm.
So centimeters, that's like, 2.5, whatever it is. But anyway, it's awesome. And I looking through it, I'm going, we actually did this. We actually did this, and the material is phenomenal. And you're bringing some of that into the baby rhino scenario. It's like unbelievable. Incredible.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that book became Amazon bestseller. No, what was it called? On the day we launched it, it hit the #1 best release in the
Oh, so
options
you did you made the 30-day thing?
Yeah, we made it. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, it's good. Let's go to Johnny. The father of the baby rhino, Johnny White.
Yes, sir. Well, if you look behind me, you see my little logo there. I'm a broken wing butterfly freak. And I just want to say that from a time constraint standpoint, I had to find something that worked for me, that I didn't have to look at all day long, and I didn't have to make too many decisions on. You give me too many choices and I make bad decisions. And so I like to keep things simple. So I went out and found the Rhino kind of style trades. And with Mike and the Knights, and we've kind of honed this into something that makes, as Charles Mingus, the great bassist, says, making the complex simple is what we've been able to do. And you can try to make it as complicated as you want, but it's really a simple trade when you let go of the woo-woo-woo stuff. And it works. It's not going to work all the time, but if you understand that it's going to work pretty much 85% of the time, and when those bad times come, which came to me this past week, and you just shake it off and move on. So if you're looking for something that's consistent that you can do and you can do within a reasonable time frame, this type of trade does it. At least it does it for me. So
yeah, Johnny and I are really close friends. I love him dearly, and again, I want to give you attribution. You brought this to us. The Knights ate it up. We've done well with it, and I think now we have a way to share this with the general public, the rest of our community and those that want to join. And we're very, very convicted that this is a game changer. And Johnny, thank you. Thank you for what you've done for us, for me. You're a beautiful human. Let's go to this guy's name is his nickname is Mo Money, Jim Whitfield. Jim, what do you got, buddy?
Hey, so am I going to introduce these people to my friend Kelly?
Not right now.
I mean, at the end of the course as a bonus?
Yes, if you would, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, are you offering a bonus, the Kelly fraction, to magnify returns on investment?
Yes, sir.
Oh, thank you, Jim.
Well, that'd be great.
Jim, Jim, you and I argue a lot, and you flip Mike a lot of stuff. But the bottom line is, you're an unbelievably cool guy, and you are so offering of your talents and your expertise.
Yeah.
What a great expert to be in our community. I'm
Yeah.
just impressed.
I think more praise goes to Johnny for bringing this to us, just to put it in perspective. But thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'd be glad to do that so everybody can see magnified power, right? So they
Yeah,
get
and Jim, you can send me that $20 via PayPal if you want, just to let you know.
that's it. That's all.
Can somebody
Kidding. No, it's all good, man. You are an awesome contributor to this community.
No doubt about it. Can somebody please lambast Jim for us, please? Because it does to me.
Where's our real Greek?
All right, so this is an introduction and a preview. I don't want to go too much longer. We're going on an hour and a half and 9 minutes. So, are there any chats in questions in the chat, Joe, Cindy, that we can?
Yes, Mike. We had a question from Casey Dunn. She said that but where are the fees going forward after the class and community time is over? As well, another question from her. She said if these strategies can be traded in an IRA.
Yeah, okay, good. First question was what again?
Wanted
Um,
to know about the fees going forward for community.
Well, let's do this. Let's talk about what's on offer. Okay. So I'm going to take you through the lander here. Let's get the course in the hands of those that want this course. And I want to go over what the course is. I've already shared with you that you have 4 live teaching sessions. This is where you learn. And then that's Wednesdays and then Fridays in the last hour and a half of the market. We're going to trade these live. You're going to watch what I do. I'm going to trade 4 of them during our month together. And during the teaching and the live trades, the live rhinos, you're going to be learning the adjustment game. You'll have access to the material for forever. And I'm not going to go through the salesy stuff, including my video. The idea of the whole thing is to let the power of positive theta, let the power of the sun rising in the morning drip money into your account, while all the while your directional risk is mitigated. And what you're going to be able to do is to build a put broken wing butterfly and add a calendar and get into what we call dynamic hedging game. That's a complicated way to say we're just going to adjust this thing and keep our directional risk mitigated while we get positive theta. We let theta do what theta do, and we manage directional risk. That's the game. And it is a game. If you like puzzles, a lot of people like puzzles. This is a puzzle. It's a game. The context is we're playing a game. Keep directional risk mitigated and let theta do what theta do. That's the game. And you're going to be able, you have a full month of learning this game with me. You'll learn the squeeze play. You'll learn the Greeks like a pro. There's five different adjustments we're going to highlight for sure, maybe 6. And then you'll know exactly when it's time to adjust. And when you can't adjust anymore, like chess, you'll just exit the trade when you can't manage directional risk.
Hey, Mike, I got to interrupt you for just a second. You said me. That's you. Can I be involved in this too?
I'll think about it.
Okay, I just want to check because Fridays I could go fishing or something, but if you want me involved, I'll be there.
I thought about it. I'd like you to be there. Can you join us?
Yeah, you're on, man.
Yeah, and then we're going to get into the dynamic hedging game. Like this is top of the mountain option trading, and I know for sure that I can teach you the basic 5 adjustments, maybe 6, and keep you in the game longer, so you can take 5% and turn it into 20, maybe more. No promises. Past performance is no guarantee of future success. But if you know options trading, you know about directional risk and the Greeks. I mean, this thing speaks for itself. I know that, but you don't, potentially. but you will by the end of the course. So that's going to be the basic 4 weeks, the 5 adjustments I've spoken about. You've seen our track record. These are live simulated trades that we've done on record. I also want to point out that although here we're up 58% so far this year without adjusting, when you adjust, things get much more better. This one is not even adjusted. We just held it longer and we generated 17%. Here's one that was adjusted. That doesn't look like a baby rhino. It's something different has happened. And this one generated 34%. These are live trades we've done. And this is one I was sharing earlier with Karen. This one generated 74%. 2 squeeze plays plus 2 wing rips. So these are the adjustments you'll learn. The idea is to take you from 3% to much higher. That's the outcome desired. And this is where it gets even better. So one of the things about the baby rhino is that it's not immune to gaps. The one I mentioned before, we lost 14% on a blue herring, big gap up in the markets on the next day after the next Monday after we got into the trade, and we lost 14%. That's a good loss, by the way, but they're not immune. And so what we've built with AI is what we call our Gap Scout. And so I built this about 6 months ago because I trade these things all the time. This is my favorite strategy now. And I said, all right, I want to use AI. I want to investigate the markets using various option pricing instruments like the VIX and the VXN and the 30-day VIX and the 9-day VIX. And we have this little thing here where you take your break even, you plug in your break evens. So this is the break evens of your baby rhino, and it tells you the probability that you're going to be okay overnight. You can do it for the rest of the day and over a week. So this is going to be your Gap Scout. This is going to help you make choices. Is it time to adjust? Can I let it go? If I come here and see a 93% that neither break even is going to be touched, I ain't adjusting this trade. Now, if this drops to 80% or 50%, then I might. So this is a tool that I don't know is available anywhere in the market that will help you decide when it's time to adjust or maybe time to exit. Tools, rules. We also use things like support and resistance. So I'm going to teach you the mechanism that I use and the Knights use to decide when we think the SPX may move against us. So this is the Gap Scout. This is included in your membership. And Joe, you kind of set me up to do the mic drop moment, but we're also going to provide you a free copy of the adjustment playbook, the options adjustment playbook.
Wait, Mike, time out. Wait a minute. You're going to give that to these okay.
Yeah.
It's that valuable. Literally. I mean, that thing is unbelievable. I'm using it in a number of other endeavors, but this thing is unbelievably awesome.
It's awesome. The book on the PDF version or the ebook version is worth $97, and we're going to give that to you. And this has the 5 adjustments that I mentioned, plus 12 more. There's 17 adjustments in this book. It's a playbook. It'll enable you to learn the game of adjusting. And Joe and I taught a course about a year ago, and we brought the culmination of our decades, 60 years of trading experience, and we taught a course, and then we took the course, and then the book was generated, and you'll have this book. We're going to give you this book as part of your subscription. If you want
I never thought that was what you were going to do with this. And I think that is admirable. This book is invaluable, not only to this strategy, but to your entire options career. So, yeah.
Remember when I first started trading, I kind of heard about adjusting, and I was like, it felt like a holy grail. Like, how do I learn how to do this? This book is worth more than $97. This is like $1,000 book, I would say. And you're going to get it. And we're going to give you a ebook version of it. And you can keep the book even if you decide to quit the class. So we're going to make this class purchase a guaranteed profit trade. And I'll show you what I mean in a minute. So if you want to see more about what's in the book, you can click that link there and you can read more about the book. These are the 17 different adjustments, some of which can be applied to the baby rhino as well. We have the squeeze play I talked about. We also have the stretch play. We have the cocoon play. Sometimes we use that, the kite string pull. So there's other adjustments that you can employ to maximize the power of the baby rhino. Okay, so let's go into we got people that have want to talk. Got testimonials here, and they'll tell you about what they've learned about adjusting. And this is what the offer is. Let me go through what's on offer. The Gap Scout, I mentioned that. Live trading and coaching, 4 sessions, 4 90-minute live trading sessions every Friday from 2:30 to the close. Case studies with adjustments. I'm going to be adjusting these trades for you. The playbook included, lifetime recordings, slide decks for all sessions, risk graph worksheets and homework. I'm going to generate some materials that will help you build these things manually. A weekly routine checklist, each of the adjustments. Of course, live Q&A, 24/7 WhatsApp group. I've got to really stop and hit this one hard. When you take a course, most of the courses I've ever taken, Joe, and probably all of you ever taken, you don't get to talk to the students 24/7. You don't get to share trade.
You don't get to talk to the students at all after the seminar is over.
Yeah.
4 o'clock, we're done. Go away. Don't even approach me in the restaurant later or the bar. I'm not available. That's the old school. That's not the new school.
Yeah. There's also a forum where you can build threads on topics. We're going to give you dedicated just to the group that's in the course. We're also going to extend to you a 30-day free trial of Option Trader's Assistant, which is the software I was in earlier. So you'll get that free for a month. You'll have the opportunity to start a subscription if you like, but you don't need to. All of that, I don't know what it's worth. At least $3,000. I think it's worth more than that. And what I want to do for you is the list price that we're offering it is at $997, and we're dropping it to $747, which represents a very sizable discount. You have until Monday, though. Monday at midnight. Are you ready? Are you ready to move the ball down the field? Are you ready to really take options on and master them like the advanced traders do, in a way that's simple, cartoony? I hope the answer is yes. You'll have until Monday at midnight to grab this. All of this is included, and here's where your guaranteed win trade is. You can attend the first live session, and if you don't like it, you'll learn about what Karen pointed out, just the broken wing butterfly part, which will make a difference in your lives. You can quit and then keep the book. Joe, that's a guaranteed profit trade there, dude.
Man, okay. Mike, be honest with you, I have not seen this. You have not shared this with me. Probably because you don't like me anymore. But the point is, I have not seen what this offer is. But you're saying it's a 4-session opportunity. You're giving them the first one free, right? Or not free. You're giving the first one. You don't like it, you could bail. But at the same time, everything you talked about is included.
Mm-hmm.
Am I off on this or what?
No, you are a little bit off. You get the live education session on Wednesday, and then you get a live trade done live on Friday. And then by the following Wednesday, if you want to bail, you can bail, get your money back, and keep the book.
Oh my God. And you get to keep the book?
Yeah.
Damn it. My name's on that book, Mike. We need to talk about this. No,
No, we don't.
I'm kidding. No, that's fantastic. Because you know what? The book goes back to the philosophy that you primarily and I have shared is that we want you to succeed.
Mhm.
Regardless of our financial future, we want you as a trader to succeed. That's what was missing from the earlier days with Optionetics, the live events, and all that kind of stuff. This is
Mhm.
about community. It's about you succeeding. And we want to hear from you when you do.
Yeah, and we get to because we're in community together.
That's beautiful.
You're gonna
Yes.
have the nights are all the nights are in the course. If you are an annual subscriber to Trade Club, you're in the course. And if you're not in the course, and you want to be in the course, know that you're going to be surrounded by a very contribution-oriented community, and you're going to be covered up with support. And there's no better way that I can think of to take the complexity of this strategy and make it real in your life. There's nothing like it. And I'm not have, the $747 course. I think it's worth a hell of a lot more than that. But I don't care about the money as much as I care about the success of as many people as we can get to, Joe. I want this in everybody's hands. I want our community to start to really move the ball down the field, to be consistent, successful, make money. Like I said, I could just stop the whole thing, go trade the baby Rhino myself, and I could live a life with a lot more time in it. But what I love the most, what I'm committed to in my personal life is contribution to other people. And I want other people to share in what's possible with options trading. And that's what this course is. So with that,
Amen.
yeah, that's how I
Mike,
want to say it. And I mean that from my heart. I don't need to do this. I don't. But I want to. I get a lot of joy out of watching people grow into their life dreams. And that's why I'm doing this. And
Well,
primarily,
Mike, I have to go on and say, and I know I'm probably overstepping my bounds here, but I got involved with you about a couple of years ago. You were already doing this for 4 years or for, at that point. I got involved and I saw what you were doing, and I saw that maybe there's a possibility that we could really help these people because so much of what we did in the past was contributory, it was good, but we didn't know if that helped them or not helped them or whatever. But now in this world that you have designed in your vision has helped so many people. And I've literally watched it happen. I'm not going to say names, but I've literally watched it happen. People have come out of their shells. They're making money. They're doing well, and they're sharing. And that is unbelievably rewarding. As an instructor, all you can do is say, I put this material out, but is this material being absorbed and is it being dealt with in a way that improves their life, their lifestyle, etc. So my hat's off to you, Mike, for the envision of what you came up with and the fact that I'm involved in it for the last couple of years and it's helping. Excellent. So
Yeah.
what you've put together here is incredible. And the fact that you're putting this thing out there for the price point you are, yeah, I agree with you. It's worth a lot more than that, but that's not the issue. The issue is let's get everybody successful.
No doubt about it, man. It's the best. It's the best. That's my life is about that now. And I got to charge you something so I can pay Joe's ass. That's the main thing. He's expensive.
Hey, I just had to spend a lot of money on my house. Come on now, I got it. Never mind.
Let's get some questions. We got by the way, Sebastian's posted the enrollment link if you want to grab it. Again, you have the guarantee that you get the book if you don't like after the first hour and a half to 2 hours of education and the first live baby Rhino with a few adjustments potentially by the following Wednesday. You can grab all of that in the book and bail. So that is the risk-free trade that's on offer. Let's get some questions. Who's first? Sebastian?
Jim
Jim
Baker's
Baker.
first. Jim Baker's first, but can I jump in really quick? Casey had not Casey. Who was it? Australia.
Peter
Can
Trade.
Francis just say a comment about how he does his trading on the timeline? Because there's concern that you probably can't do this when you're in Australia because you're trading a day later.
Yeah, you know what I do here most of the time, and the course will bear witness to this. You can trade the last. Typically, you want to trade these in the last hour and a half of the day. So, what time is 2:30 Eastern time in Australia on
4:30.
Friday?
4:30.
On Saturday
Yep.
in the morning?
Saturday morning. Saturday morning. Yep.
Well, go to the pubs and just stay up until 4:30. Easy. No, I can't solve your time. I can't solve your because by the way, don't do that. I used to do that. Joe and I've done that when we used to
Oh
do
yeah.
and you don't want to hear
Don't go to the pubs in Australia. No, don't do that. Make a joke. No, don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, so that's the thing. And then you can also so typically where I might place them at lunchtime, but typically I'm looking at them in the last hour of the day. I really start looking at them at the last hour of the day, 3 p.m. Eastern. I can't solve your time zone problems, but I can solve your consistency problems if you're willing to deal with the time zone. That's the truth.
Okay, so middle of our winter, middle of your summer, that is 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. Your market closes at 6 a.m. Australian time.
Right. Right.
Middle of summer, 2 hours later, it's 8 a.m.
That's even better.
And the whole
So,
thing is, we may be doing away with the whole time change. We don't know. That's coming up. That's been in Congress, and we'll see how that happens. But regardless of which way direction you want it, it might get stabilized so we don't have to change clocks every year or twice a year. We'll see.
Francis, you've heard me say this, but when I lived in Australia, my trading was better because I wasn't tinkering with my trades during the market hour. I'd stay up late or get up early and just deal with the tail ends of the market. And that's how you can trade this thing. By the way, the amount of time that it takes to manage these things is probably, unless there's an adjustment day, it's usually 10, 15 minutes a day. Look, the SPX is behaving itself. Go golf. Check it a couple of times a day. And then when the markets move, then maybe you spend an hour adjusting. So it doesn't take a lot of time if you're worried about that part. But listen, man, if I knew, and you'll learn this, if I knew that I have a very high probability of generating 3%, and if I did 12% a month, 4 trades at 3% a month, a week is 12% a month, I'd be very willing personally to stretch the hours of the clock to grab onto this very high probability system. Francis, thank you, man. What's next, Sandy?
Doc Baker.
So I have a friend
Oh,
that
let's go on to the next one. Who's next?
I have a friend who works in a local investment office, and she didn't attend this session. Can she still get the 747 rate?
Until Monday, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I hope she comes, Jim. I'd love to have a chat with her. I'd love for her to see this.
It would, we speak a different language and you can't talk to anybody about this stuff. I would love to have somebody in my same town that speaks my language.
We do speak a whole entire new language, but we all understand it, so that's all good, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the other
Right.
questions were, can you trade in an IRA? Yes, I only trade in an IRA, and you can do all of this in an IRA. Another question was, I'm scrolling back through here, placing the trades. that has already been touched upon. You need to do it in two pieces, the fly and the calendar, and same with adjustments. And then there was some talk about commissions. Can you say a little bit about commissions with these? Because there seems to be some concern about how commissions will impact the profit.
Yeah, good question. The beauty of the SPX is that, yes, let me pull up an example. So this is a trade we placed. This is one of the trades we placed on Friday. And this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 contracts. So one of the beauties of the SPX is that you don't need to do many contracts. If you did one baby rhino, it's with the sum of the contracts is 6. So roughly that's $3 in and out, plus a few fees. Let's call it $4 and $8 of commission for one. $8 on a trade that has generated, in this case, let me take you to the closing date. This trade generated. So the SPX is, it's a costly trade. You need to spend $1,200, but you generate enough profit to offset the commissions are small. That's what I'm trying to say in a lot of words. It's a small number of contracts, so no commissions aren't a problem at all. In fact, better than the spies. If we did the spies, we'd have to do a lot more contracts to generate the same kind of profit.
Mike, do you remember in the day, and I'm sure you do, that, well, in my world, when I first started trading, it was the S&P 500 futures contract.
Mhm.
Each tick was $500. The commissions in and out were $85 to $100 per contract in and then out. So commissions are really insignificant in this world, where they were not that long ago, because I'm not 150 yet. I'm working on 70. But the point is that 20 years ago it was a lot different than it is now. Not to mention the efficiency of popping in, popping out, broker commissions, and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, commissions. Yeah, when you're talking about trying to generate 10 cents on an option trade with multiple legs, yeah, commissions can be a factor. But when you're talking about this, you're talking about using the SPX. Yeah, the dollar amounts are very large, but when you're doing the spreads, you're doing the calendars, you're doing the broken wings, the net dollar is not that much. But when you factor the commissions in, it can be relatively insignificant.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, $840, 17% return. This is 6 rhinos, so 6 times 4 is 24, $36 of commission on 840.
Yeah.
I mean, are you worried about that? I'm not.
No, I'm not worried about it.
Hey, before we answer the next questions, I just also wanted to tell you that, Joe and I have been doing this a long time, and I understand, we both understand that consuming this amount of information can be overwhelming. Every session is recorded, and every session includes something that looks remarkably like this. This will be your dashboard. You'll have access to all the recordings from each coaching session, each education session, each live trading session. Various resources will provide you. You have let me refresh this. We've changed this a little bit. You'll have the probability, the gap scout, the links to all of the Zoom sessions. And here's the thing. When you take a course, there's a lot of information. And what we've done through Sebastian is when you go to your recordings, you'll see something that looks remarkably like this. So this is one of Joe's sessions on Mondays for Trade Club. And what we're going to put in place, the outcome we want is that you can, in 8 minutes, digest the class on Wednesday. You go into your notebook here, and it's going to produce an AI bot where you could say to it, What were the major points? Spoken about in this class?
You're actually going to show my class, Mike? Jeez.
Yeah, I'm not expecting to see a lot here, but we'll see. And so you can talk to it. This thing digests every class, every live trade we did, and you can say, "Hey, what was Mike talking about this Vega thing? What does that mean?" Ask the bot. It knows everything that happened in the class. And then you can see this is what Joe talked about. Is this correct, Joe? Look at this.
I can't read it that fast. I'm not a cyborg.
But man, I mean, it just
There
sums
was
it
a
all.
lot of material there.
A lot of material. We
And
talked
you
about
know
a lot
what? It even cleans up all my stutters and my stupid English and all that stuff. So
yeah. And so imagine that you can't attend the class live because you're in Australia. You say, all right, I want to go in and see what Mike talked about last night. You can come into this little video here. It's 8 minutes, about 8 minutes.
Welcome to this explainer.
Can you all hear
Today,
this?
we're diving into
Yeah.
exactly
Yes.
how professional options trade.
And so what this thing does is it sums up all of the language in 8 minutes and sums it up in plain English with visuals. And you can go through here and consume the class in 8 minutes.
When you combine this kind of inflationary
Why
data,
does it take you 2 hours?
it's the absolute.
And if you'd like, you can use this little tool to give you a slideshow of what Joe talked about. Look at this. This is what you did on Monday, Joe. All AI transcribed.
holy garbage. That's
Yeah.
nuts. My God, I spent many hours building PowerPoints and it's just doing it.
It just does it. So
Say thank you, Sebastian.
thank you, Sebastian. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah, absolutely.
So listen, it's not about we're just trying to dump material on you. We want it to stick. And we've invested money in AI so that you can very quickly consume the information. You got a question, go to your bot. What does Vega mean? Mike talked about Vega and the VIX. Ask it, it'll tell you. So you have access to me essentially 24/7. You're worried about attending every class, don't worry about it. Watch your 8-minute videos and then dig in with further questions. What trades did Joe talk about? And it'll tell you the trades. What trades did Mike talk about? What were the major points Mike mentioned? You have it. It'll be right on your dashboard. I got to tell you, how do I say this? This is not about grabbing your money and running at all. It's the exact opposite. We want this material to be embedded in your DNA. And we've spent money and time and hard work to bring the power of high probability, non-directional trading, harnessing the power of theta so that this will make a difference in your lives. And that's what I want. That's my juice. That's my candy. That's my payoff. It's not the 747. That's really not even a risk. You don't even need to risk it. You can just bail after a week. There's nothing better than this. I don't know what else to say, Joe. I mean, I think it's a no-brainer. I want to make it a no-brainer. My job on next Wednesday on the 19th is to really leave you with something that can change your lives, even if you quit. And if you stay, then we can take the power of this baby Rhino and really amplify the impact on your lives. And that's what I want. Okay, I think we're going to wrap here soon. And Sandy, are there any other questions or comments we can?
There was only one about payment with PayPal, and Sebastian addressed it.
Go, Sebastian.
Hey, Mike, I
Yeah.
got one question before we wrap this up. 25 years ago, whenever it was, you and I met. We taught a class in front of live people. It was interesting because we first met. But did you ever think at that point in time, especially with some of the turmoil that we went through after that, but beyond that, did you ever think that we would get to a point where we could actually interact in a community environment with our students? Because back then, and for a number of years later, we were absolutely refused to have any kind of interaction with the students. It was present the material,
Get out.
sign them up for the next class, bye, see ya, well, see you next time. That's what it was. And that was the missing piece was, how in the
Community.
world do we know if these people are absorbing this material? Is the material worth anything? Are they doing anything with it? Is it important? And what your vision was 4 years ago, well, it was way prior to that, but when you put it in place, and then 2 years ago when you invited me to get involved, how cool is this where we're at now?
It reminds me, when I moved to Australia, what we taught really worked. Optionetics was where Joe and I got our start, and what we taught worked. But it was almost like giving somebody the keys to an F1 car and say, "All right, this works. Go ahead and drive it, and we'll see you in 3 months." And so I was in that model. We were both in this model, and I remember I can feel the energy of this. But we had taught a class in Sydney. And then 3 months later, I came back to do another class. This is a 2-day seminar we used to do, Joe. And this beautiful woman comes up and she's in tears and she goes, "Michael, I've lost all my money." And I remember the feeling of that, like, oh my God, what we're teaching is good, but what's missing is the community aspect. And so I struggled with that for years. And I worked on trying to figure out a way to keep them safe so they don't lose their money. And, as much as we say, Joe, people are going to violate the rules and not take their stops when they're supposed to and all that stuff. And then about 5 years ago, I was like, man, I think what we need is community. I think we need a community where the instructors are with the people and we meet them every day and we trade together and we answer their questions and we get them to support each other. And that model is what Trade Club is, which is where, that's the company. And this class will have exactly the same model. In class, every classmate you'll have access to. You can form bonds and you can share trade ideas and support each other so you can be successful. Your chance of success is much higher when you have continuity with other people in the same class. And that's what this Baby Rhino course is. That's what everything we do is that. Every class we teach is that. You need community. You need the ability to interact 24/7. We need the power of AI, which we just added last month. And that's what this is. So, yeah, what's Casey saying there? I remember Ron Lonari back a few decades ago promoting option trading. Yeah. Joe, we're doing it differently, man. This is a different world. We're like nobody else does it. I guarantee that you'll be happy, and if you're not, quit. Keep the book. What do you got to lose? I think
the fact that, and I didn't know you were doing this literally before tonight. The fact that just stick a toe in the water and see what this is about. Check us out for the first week. I said the first week, right? And you get the book. So if you do anything else and you just end up with the book, you will be far better off than you were without the book. And that's not because that Mike wrote it and I helped contribute to it and all that. It's got a ton of extremely good information in it. Literally, we have been asked year after year, month after month, when we were doing live sessions and online sessions, is what's this thing about adjustments? And the way we put it together Mike, it's incredible. I mean, I look at that book and I'm just amazed. I'm going, oh, I could learn from that. Oh, wait a minute, I helped write.
Oh, I know.
So yeah,
Hey,
it's an
Marcus said
incredible
here,
thing. And to bring it to the Baby Rhino and the Knights and what they've contributed to this, very impressive. Very
yeah,
impressive.
yeah, I'm excited. All right, everybody. I think that's a wrap. By the way, Marcus just said you're looking like you're turning into a Jedi. You're turning like bright. You're lit up and enlivened.
Oh, I know why. I got it. We'll fix it.
Casey's saying if we join, can we get a discount on the hard copy of the book? No, hell no. You're going to get the digital format. The book, the hard copy is $117 on Amazon, and the hardcover copy is $147. Casey, I was just playing, but no, I think we got it. I think we're being very generous here, and I have a hard copy, Joe, and it's incredible to have it in your hands. It's
Yeah, yeah, I got it too. I love it. It's the soft copy. And I want to get the hard copy so I can put that up in the library so it doesn't get damaged. I'm afraid this is going to get damaged when the cat lays on it.
Hey, Joe, by the way, for those in Trade Club, we are going to have a Costa Rican trip next year, and Joe and I will be signing hard copies, and that'll be part of the thing we're going to offer you when you come down to Costa Rica, Joe. That's where I live, by the way, if you didn't know that. All right, let's wrap. We've gone 2 hours, and that's too long for most webinars, but not for us. Let's see, Sandy, are there any last questions we can address here?
No, I think we basically got them all.
Sandy, you know I love you, right?
Thank you.
It's funny though how
I love
Sandy
you
and I-
guys too.
I
I
know
love
you-
my community.
we love our community very much. We have a beautiful community, and you join the class, you'll get a taste of us. And we are a beautiful community, and we support each other for trading success. And Joe, you mentioned before the outcome. I was not after first was to see how people do. It was mostly that people succeed, but what I've seen as well is a lot of success in trading, and that's the best thing ever for us as traders. All right, Sebastian, have I missed anything? Are we good?
Yeah, I think we're good. I think we can wrap this up, I think.
I like your Harry Potter glasses, by the way. They look good.
Thank you.
All right, we love each other here. I'm going to leave you with some love. Join the class, man. You have no risk. It's a guaranteed profit trade. And hopefully, I'll see many of you on Wednesday of next week. Have a great night, everybody, or morning, depending where you are. We love you very much. Take care.
Bye, everyone.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.